Okay, you guys want to know the secrets, huh? How to crush a woman in every single argument you could have. So here's what you do. You take her over to a cliff, even if she's in mid-sentence, that's fine, and then you push her off of it. Alright, she plummets to the abyss below. Or you could use a bridge. Bridge is okay, perhaps a tall building. I'm of course kidding. I have to say that because there's some asshole listening to my video plotting to murder some incel plotting to murder some chick he's never met because I said to go murder her if you want to win the argument. Obviously that's not really what you do. Alright, so don't go murder anybody. I'm just kidding. Let's talk about arguments. Alright, so I got notes over here but I have to look at them. I never take notes, by the way. Usually, I don't say never, only about 10% of the time, but I did for this one because it's such an important topic. All right, so experts, and if you search this topic up in the internet, you know, most people are going to tell you never to argue with a woman. All right, they're going to dispense that advice because that's conventional wisdom, and it's true. It's actually true. Okay, in a lot of ways, guys who know how to handle women don't argue with them. All right. But that doesn't really, that's cool. I could parrot that in this video and regurgitate the same thing that you're going to see in every other video and not give you any solutions or insight other than that. And you're still not going to know what the hell to do, right? So, I mean, so it doesn't really help you. You know, okay, don't argue with a woman. Roger, got it. So does that mean she's right all the time? Like, what does that mean exactly? How does that show up in the actual relationship dynamic? How do I handle things then if I don't argue with her, right? Like I don't understand. I don't get it, right? So I'm going to help you with that, okay, today. First of all, I want to refer you to a video that just happened. So stepping back, I've known this information for a little bit, but you know, somebody over in the Rule Zero forum. So there's a show called Rule Zero on YouTube. Look it up, check it out. It's good. It's a good show. A lot of good people on there. You know, but there's a forum. They have a group, and somebody was talking about how he was getting into an argument with his chick at dinner. Okay, and of course, my first question was, why the hell are you arguing with her to begin with? Okay, so that's kind of what started the inspiration from the video, but it's by coincidence, and I want to refer you to the Appeals to Reason. So go to the Irrational Male channel, and I'll link it in the description. Go to the Irrational Male channel. Had a great conversation a few days ago with Rollo Tomasi, Rich Cooper, and Ryan Stone, three people who really get this stuff, and they had a great. I mean, it was an awesome show. They cover a lot of stuff, and they're talking about why you don't appeal to reason for a woman. That's a guy thing, and that doesn't resonate with chicks. It's just not how they think. That's not how they communicate, and they illustrate that really well in probably I think it's an hour and a half or 2 hour thing. So you want to dive deep into the appeal to reason aspect of this because it's definitely related to the whole aspect of arguing. Jump into that. A lot of good points there. Okay, so you don't argue with a woman. First of all, we'll talk about, so appeal to reason. Like, all right, so women don't default to logic. All right, that's not their default. All right, we all have mechanisms that information travels through and how we think, how it travels through our brain. Okay, you go through your instincts first. Now, I say unconscious mind. My definition of unconscious mind is different than a lot of psychotherapists because mine's more behavioral. That's a topic for another video, but instincts first, unconscious mind next, and then for guys it goes reason and then emotions. For women it goes emotions and reason. Okay, so they're going to filter through their instincts, unconscious, and then emotions first before they get to the logical argument or discussion. And this is just how a woman's brain is wired. Okay, this can make them more emotionally intelligent. Okay, at times when that's needed, but you know, you can take the highest IQ woman on the planet, If she is a woman and her brain's wired as such, this is the process she'll go through. Okay, so when she's in a relationship with you, and this is to start when you go on that very first date, this frames the dynamic where you're in a sexual exchange, sexual relationship with her, whether you've had sex or not. Okay, you are a sexual option. There's that tension there, right? As soon as that's the thing, okay, that becomes there's emotional connotations to that relationship. She can't separate the emotions. All right, if she's with you, whether she's dating or in a long-term relationship, she cannot separate the emotional aspect of this relationship you have with her with logic, reason, and other stuff. It's not a thing that she's going to just be able to do. All right? So a lot of guys will appeal to logic and want to explain themselves because if it's two guys arguing, that's exactly how you would do it. And that creates a number of problems, falls short, and it kind of destroys that emotional bond that you have with this person. All right? So you got to recognize something. All right? When a woman is arguing with you, she is not interested in truth or what is right at the time that she's doing that. Okay? She is interested in being a good person. All right? So what's good about being a Chad, all right, in this is that I can take all the sciencey stuff and then break it down to real simple, stupid concepts. If she doesn't feel like she's good, monkey good, okay, then she's going to fight against that as much as she can, because being not good, all right, means that you get ostracized from the tribe, all right? A not good woman gets beaten or killed by the husband, gets left behind, gets deserted in the hunter-gatherer nomadic tribe. Okay, not good woman gets less privileges or potentially destroyed by the tribe. Good woman gets all privileges, okay? That is how the hindbrain, the chimpanzee that operates their instincts, operates, all right? And so she has to feel like good woman, okay? This is why women don't like to admit fault in these circumstances. They don't like to admit they're wrong. They'll fight against it because anything, and this is also why things like slut defense happen. You know, she has to be perceived as good woman, okay? And so, like, she needs to feel like I'm a good person. Her interest in the argument with you is to be right, but the reasons are not because of truth. The reasons are because she needs to feel like she's the good person, okay? And that she is faced with an injustice. She's a good person and there's this conflict. So that means that there's an injustice against her as a good person, all right, for this thing to be happening. And so she is, resentful and attacking and hating and angry at that time to anybody who would say differently about how she is as a person. And right now that's you. So if you're arguing with her, you're attacking her social standing, right? So like social proof is what women need, okay? Women need that for survival. They need social proof that they are good people. And so when you're arguing with her, you're directly in conflict of that social proof. Even though you're sitting back going, but I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm not attacking her. It doesn't matter. Her being wrong or at fault means that she is bad person. She is bad monkey, and bad monkeys get kicked out of tribe, okay? You have to understand that that's where this is coming from. So their initial reactions are going to be to argue with you, no matter how logical you are, and to piss you off and make you want to throw them off a cliff. All right, that is the initial reaction. And if you participate in that, then you are a bad person because she is good person who is being victimized by bad person. And so any way that, it doesn't matter what the topic is, doesn't matter how everybody on earth could see that you're correct and that she's stupid here. And it doesn't matter. It's you are a bad person attacking, she is good person victim. All right? And that will be the narrative of every single argument you have with a woman from now until the end of time. Until she can assert that she is good person, okay, she will not be able to say, okay, I'm at fault here. I'm wrong. I fucked up. I'll fix that. You know, I shouldn't have done that. She'll never be able to do that if she's not a good person. Got it? And so when you argue, though, what you're doing is you're basically, when you argue with her, you're basically you're saying that she's not a good person, and you can never win that. Here's why you can never win. Okay, you never win this with a woman, because even if you win logically and beat her in the logical argument, you lose anyway. In the relationship aspect, in the emotional aspect, all that, and in the frame control. Maintaining frame is not beating a chick's ass in an argument. So that's a big misconception. A lot of guys think, I gotta be this alpha guy, so I have to whip her ass in this logical argument. If she doesn't just agree with me, then she's not in my frame, and so I have to beat her down with, with words and, be unbending and all this shit. I don't know. And the problem with that is it's just a losing proposition all around. So let's say you are correct. Let's say the argument happens. You're spending too much time with Kevin in sales, and he's tried to get you to suck his dick like 3 times. I don't think you should spend time with him anymore. All right, so let's say the topic is like that. And so she is going to argue tooth and nail. Well, you're right. Okay, she's wrong. But here's the thing. If she agrees with you at the end of this argument and this fight, she's going to do it with resentment. Okay? She's going to resent you because she is a good person and you must be a bad person victimizing her. Even though you're right. In this instance, you're right. But it'll be, you were mean to me, you didn't handle me right. It'll be all of the things that you did wrong now to bring this injustice to the table. You see what I mean? So it'll be all your fault. Have you ever had it happen where a chick is she fucked up, and then she's like, yeah, I fucked up, but then she knows she fucked up, right? But then she's mad at you for it. She's like a bitch to you for multiple days because she fucked up. But it's why are you being mad? Why are you acting like a bitch to me when you fucked up? The reason is because the personal accountability in a relationship is hindered by this whole good person thing. All right? And so when she has to reluctantly admit fault, what it says to her hindbrain is, I'm not as good of a person. And so you're attacking her. So she will resent you, even if it's regarding an action, the action is don't hang out with Kevin in sales anymore. He's inappropriate and he keeps trying to get you to suck his dick. She'll agree with you reluctantly and resent you for it. And a lot of times, she's still going to hang out with Kevin in sales just because of that resentment. She's just not going to tell you about it. You see what I mean? So is she in your frame at that point? No, she's not in your frame at that point, right? Just because she agreed with you in the argument, that doesn't mean she's now adopted your frame. And she's letting you lead. It's such a weird, I hate that term, but she's not, being led by you at all. She is just conceding reluctantly because she's wrong, but she is not in your frame at that point. Okay, so that is the reason why. And then the other part is the argument. Anything bad that you say during the argument, during the first phase, especially the argument, I'll go over the 4 phases. Anything bad or negative you say there is going to be put in the memory banks and logged in the filing system for later. Okay, because this is an emotional exchange, she's going to log everything you say that's negative into her filing system to use against you at a later time. So that is what arguing does for you, even when you're right. It causes resentment because she is a bad chimpanzee, and so you must be victimizing her, and she can't be the bad chimpanzee because that means she's going to die. So you must actually be the bad chimpanzee who is victimizing her, even though she was wrong in that circumstance. You get it? So that's what happens in the instinctual brain, and this is why, even you being right and having this logical discourse with her and trying to appeal to her reason, it just falls apart. Doesn't work. It's resentment and a bunch of shit she's going to use against you later. So that's not a really good recipe, is it? Now, here's the other part. Okay, well, what if you're wrong? What if you're not correct? And you have to kind of face the music. What if you were trying to hang out with Kevin in sales and suck his dick? All right, I don't know. So it's just, and you're wrong. Okay, what if you're wrong? Well, if you had this argument and you're the one who's wrong, you're in a position where you either have to stick to being wrong, which makes you, you know, an inconsistent and not good leader of that relationship, which breaks that trust and bond and all that together. It makes you an idiot too, right? Or you have to admit to being wrong, but since it's in the context of an argument, now that you've admitted to being wrong, you lose leadership and you lose frame. So your options in an argument are to lose either way, all right? So it's either she's going to resent you for you being right and take information to use against you at a later time, or you're going to admit to being wrong and lose the frame of the relationship. So you'll start to lose frame and you'll lose that leadership because now you have to defer to her leadership in order to admit that. All right, so these are the reasons why you don't argue with a woman. Okay, so we know why not to argue with them. We have some little bit of Chad version of evolutionary psych here to back it up. Okay, but what do we do now? What do we do as a solution? Like, how do we handle conflict then if we're not going to argue with a woman? So that's going to be part 2 because I'm noticing I'm at 16:30 right now in this thing. I can do videos. I get to the 20-minute mark or so. I risk, because of where I'm at in bandwidth, I risk YouTube or something happening, glitching, and then my video just stopping in the middle, and then I'm screwed at that point. So this is a good stopping point, and tune into part 2, okay? Part 2, I'll actually give you solutions and how to handle it that doesn't involve you arguing, doesn't involve her resenting you, doesn't involve you hitting her chimpanzee brain in a way where she bad person, okay? And doesn't involve you losing frame leadership in your relationship. Doesn't involve you admitting, just losing that leadership and, having to defer to her every time. A woman's always right. That's bullshit. We know that that's bullshit. But how do you get those points across when she's not right, and you know what I mean, without arguing, right? So how do you do that? And so it's a challenge men face, and I got the answers for you in part 2. So I'm going to upload this and immediately jump into part 2. All right? So stick around or tune in later, whatever you want to do. All right. Thanks.